What is this?
I've never seen this before. This is an altered unit without an owner.
Unit without the second protocol. Find someone else to hold accountable for this mess.
I'm tracking down some alterations performed on 2 units.
A machine altering itself is a very complex concept. Self-repairing implies some idea of a conscience.
Please, sir. Please, sir.
Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome. This is the 12th 12 episodes of FTL Radio. We're very excited to be here with you for 12 straight weeks, although unfortunately we might have to miss the next one, but we'll get into that a little later. I'm your host, Chris, and with me on the line, as usual, is my buddy Jacob. How you doing out there, Jacob?
I'm doing pretty good, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing all right, you know. Why do we record this on Mondays? I'm always in such a wonderful mood on Mondays.
Yeah, I'm in awful moods on Mondays.
That's sort of what I was getting at. It's like Monday's the worst day. Well, anyway, whatever. This isn't Garfield. This is FTL. So we are going to be talking about some news, starting off with, and I think that this is a perfect fit. Marvel is announcing that a Guardians of the Galaxy animated series is on its way.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I guess this happened at New York Comic Con, right?
Yeah, well, New York Comic Con was this past week, and it's getting much, much bigger than it has in previous years, getting up to San Diego Comic-Con levels, which is sort of Comic-Con Prime. So yeah, the high-profile announces, they did Star Wars Rebels stuff there, they did a ton of things, but one of the things that came out was this Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy's animated series, which, again, I just think it's kind of a perfect fit.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely cool, you know, but this is kind of the direction that I think Disney and, you know, a different company, but LucasArts was going with, is they do their movies, and their movies are big ticket live action, but then they do animation. Mm-hmm. You know, they did that with the, you know, Star Wars Clone Wars. They're doing that with Star Wars Rebels or whatever it's called. Yeah, Star Wars Rebels. Now they're doing it with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a means of I almost view it as Disney's attempt of harvesting fans.
Oh, absolutely. It keeps it relevant.
Well, no, not only keeping it relevant, but think about it. You know, if...
Oh, you mean the Saturday morning cartoon phenomenon kind of thing?
Yeah, you know, the reason that you and I are such, you know, awesome comic book fans or Star Wars fans, well, comic books in particular, is because Saturday morning I used to watch X-Men. I used to watch that shit on Saturday morning.
Every week, yep.
You know, so, I mean, I didn't even read the comics that much, but I watched that show religiously.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so when the movie came out, I was like, yep, I'm there. I think this is the same thing. This is a way to get the younger people hooked on this stuff. You know, like what was Guardians of the Galaxy's rating?
Well, it was a PG-13 movie.
Okay, so I'm not going to take my 8-year-old to see that. Well, I don't have an 8-year-old, but...
But if you did have an 8-year-old, you probably wouldn't take him to see that movie.
Although maybe I would, because I think when I was like 10 years old, I saw The Patriot with Mel Gibson, and that was fucked up.
Yeah, this is not quite that level of blood and gore.
But anyway, but I would let them watch this TV show, because it's probably going to be a PG kind of quality. You know, there's going to be some stuff, but...
Well, it's being done by Disney XD, so it's going to be on one of the Disney networks. And
yep.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be targeted at the younger crowd, so absolutely.
So, I mean, it looks cool. You know, if there were more hours in the week, I would watch it, but I'm probably going to miss it, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to cater to a younger crowd. It's not for us. It's for, like you said, for cultivating this new generation of fans that are going to then go see the Marvel movies.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It looks pretty cool.
It looks cool. There's a teaser trailer we'll post on the site with it, so y'all can check out.
Now, here's another show that might be coming to television.
Okay.
And this one's pretty fucking cool. Pardon my language. Pardon my language. This one's cool because it seems like X-Men might be coming back to the big screen.
You mean little screen?
Yeah, the little screen, that one. Well, you know, this day and age, you know...
Well, actually, yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's 84-inch TVs. Everything's a big screen these days. But, okay, so X-Men is coming back.
Yeah, so I guess Fox had tried to do a TV series way back in the beginning of 2001, where they did it's called Mutant X,
Okay.
And it was Marvel Studios working with a couple of other production companies, but it was on Fox. And it went for 3 seasons, 66 episodes, and it was loosely based on X-Men. It was called Mutant X.
Okay.
Now it looks like they're going to be doing another Marvel TV show.
And is this going to be animated like the old one was?
No, I think this might actually be a live action show.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's very little known about it right now because it's so early in development. But unlike Mutant X, which was kind of its own, it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of the X-Men maybe universe. Let's go on our own. This is actually going to follow the comics more closely.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, no, it should be pretty interesting.
Now, my question. I'm sorry. My question is.
No, go ahead.
This kind of sounds a little bit like Fox trying to pull the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing.
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense, but I mean, is that sort of are they gonna? I guess is it gonna feature the main cast and crew? Is where I was going with that, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. features the most primary character or the most high profile character in that is Agent Coulson, who was an ancillary character in all the movies.
Well, there are a couple ways to look at it, and this is pure speculation. Fox has to continue using the X-Men universe. They have to. Otherwise, they will lose the rights to it. No one
Literally
wants to
use it or lose it.
Right. You're not going to get any of these main characters to be in the show. You're not going to get it. Doesn't mean there's not going to be a Professor X, a Wolverine, a Magneto, a Cyclops.
Well, when you say main characters, you mean you're not going to get Patrick Stewart, you're not going to get Hugh Jackman, you're not going to get Halle Berry. Yeah, I agree with that.
But I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, those guys are getting too old anyway. It's not that, I wouldn't be surprised if this is an attempt to reboot X-Men.
Okay, so maybe it's taking a bit of a different approach then, and it's really literally just trying to be a separate entity entirely.
It's possible.
Interesting. I'm just curious to see where it goes. I've always been a big X-Men fan, so to hear that it's coming back to the small screen, I just hope they do it justice.
Yeah, I hate to do business with Fox because that means Marvel doesn't own the rights to it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true too.
So yeah, there's other news. We've talked about this a few times now, but we talked about how there's going to be a Terminator movie called Genesis.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger's going to be back in it, which is cool, I suppose. And
it's necessary.
It is necessary. Kinda.
And so long as he's alive, they'll keep making bullshit reasons why they keep tweaking the age up of their prime robot.
Yeah, I don't really understand why the prime robot would be like 65, 70 years old.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
anyway,
So especially when he started like in his prime and like ripped.
Right. Yeah. So there's going to be 2 more movies, not just one, because why not get Arnold Schwarzenegger for as many as you can? They're going to be making 2 of them, one after the other.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. What's also cool about this is these are not reboots.
So this is going to follow the same, what's it called? The Sarah Connor story of...
Well, right. I mean, it's not a reboot, but it also doesn't follow the Sarah Connor story at the same time. They don't really know where they're picking up from.
Okay.
Or maybe they do. They're just not really revealing it.
Yeah.
But basically, it's not as if the story is different, like we're seeing with Star Trek a little bit. Nor is it that Terminator number 400 ended, and now this is the next one. They really haven't revealed too much as to where or what this story is going to be. But what I do know is that it's going to be PG-13 rather than R.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean...
That bums me out.
It does as well. Which
the movie is called Terminator.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, let's think about it. Do you want to know what makes a movie R?
Gore, boobies.
Fuck. That's what it
well,
makes it.
More than one fuck, because PG-13 gets one.
Right. So if I say fuck, it's an R-rated movie. I'm like, really?
But
if I blow somebody up,
yeah, it's totally cool.
It's PG-13.
It's the most ridiculous thing. If it and you could be the most vulgar, like horrible thing, but if you slip one nip,
Yeah.
One
It's
single
over.
nip, it's done. All right, so not to derail us too much, but I just wanted to talk about this movie and sort of in the vein of that PG-13 story. It was Be Cool with John Travolta. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so. I might have. I don't know.
It wasn't a very good movie, but there was a scene in it that was just I found hilarious. It was one of those very self-referential, totally knew what it was talking about. Anyway, so John Travolta plays this Hollywood person, and he's sitting at a cafe talking to a guy, and the movie, by the way, is PG-13. And he's like, "Did you know that you're only allowed to say fuck one time in a PG-13 movie?"
And there's the one fuck.
And
right?
there's the one fuck, exactly. So he used his one allotment describing the one allotment rule. I just thought that was interesting, and now we're back on the rails.
Yeah, no, cool. So, yeah, I mean, moral of the story is cool, that we have Terminator, but I have no idea where they're going to go with this. But maybe they have a good storyline.
Yeah,
Maybe it's going to be good. Who the hell knows?
I'd be a liar if I was saying I was really excited about it. I mean, we'll see what happens as it comes out, but I think Terminator has sort of seen its glory days already. I can't see it living up to its history.
We'll see. I mean, maybe they have a good story, and if they do, I'm not gonna turn it down because it is a fun universe.
It absolutely is, and that's a good point. I just I hear PG-13, and that means that they're going to try because our movies obviously don't attract as big of an audience as a PG-13 movie because you have those limitations. So I just feel like it's they're going to bring it back because it's got a name and it's going to make money and they're going to release it as a PG-13 movie. Although, that being said, not to double back and contradict myself, I had those same thoughts when I heard about Live Free or Die Hard, which wound up being an amazing movie. So,
Which one was this?
this was the fourth Die Hard, the one before the previous one it was the first one in the new millennium because the last one before that was Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson in 1993 or 94.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. PG-13 is the new place that people are going to make movies. They're going to push it as much as they can, but they don't want to cross because once you get to that R rating, it's impossible to get in.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But last week we talked about William Shatner and how he was going to be and how he was going to be in Star Trek 3.
That crazy Canadian.
I've never really watched Star Trek. And I say this every single time, and I feel like on FTL radio we talk about Star Trek nonstop.
Well, it's in terms of the science fiction franchise, it's one of the big ones.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, there are some possible details and some rumors, floating around that what Shatner will be doing in the movie. At least who he'll be meeting in the movie, and that is his younger self.
Okay, yeah, I mean, like sort of how Zachary Quinto's character met Leonard Nimoy's character in the first one.
Yeah, it's interesting because basically it's not gonna be original timeline Spock. It's weird. Basically, they're talking about there's gonna be a scene that's gonna have Kirk and Spock interacting with their future selves. But I'm confused because if it's their future selves, it's not their alternate timeline selves. So maybe it's future alternate timeline selves.
What is it? Just Kirk sitting down with young Kirk talking about how many girls he banged?
I mean, possibly.
Wow.
I mean, he was a badass. I don't know. Maybe it's just them having a conversation, or young Kirk going to old Kirk. Yo, old Kirk who doesn't look at all like Kirk. How do I do this? How? And then old Kirk's gonna be like, "Yeah, I can't tell you.
I can't tell you."
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Really, not much to talk about that. The only thing that would make Star Trek perfect is if George Takei walked on.
Yes.
If that happened, I would be on board.
Or if Jordan, never mind. I was just about to take it to a dark place. I'm not going to do that.
Let's move on. Hey, let's move on to something that you actually like.
I like lots of things.
Yeah, but you've raved about Judge Dredd on this podcast.
I love Judge Dredd. He's such a cool character.
No, I agree. He's really awesome.
He's like future cop, like like the world is in total shambles, and he does what he wants because he's the only thing keeping any semblance of order. But is it really keeping order, or is he just killing people?
Right. So in other words, he's the perfect cop in a non-perfect world where the Constitution doesn't matter.
Exactly. He is judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah. So apparently, while we wait to find out if there's going to be an official cinematic sequel to Dredd, producer Adi Shankar is helping to fund a free online mini web series called Dark Judges, which looks kind of cool. And it's basically you're gonna be able to watch it online rather than having to go to the theaters.
Yeah, I like the idea of that because I mean, it makes a character who's probably not as accessible, or well, definitely not as popular as some of the other higher profile comic book characters, and it sort of brings it to a place where a lot of people can watch it for free and get into the character and get into the world. You know, if you're gonna go see a movie, are you gonna pay $13 to see Dredd 3D with, you know? Or are you going to go see this other thing? I mean, the movie did not do well in theaters, but it rated very well because it was a good movie. It was, I mean, in terms of if you were a Judge Dredd fan expecting a Judge Dredd movie, you got it.
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, I have my complaints about Judge Dredd, particularly the fact that his face looks so funny under the mask.
Okay.
He's always like he's got such a scowl on it that looks just stupid. But anyway, but I really do like Judge Dredd as well. So this series is going to be released in 7 installments.
Okay.
And they will all be free.
I love that.
And when you combine them together, it will be pretty much a full feature film.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. No, they're doing like a full on thing, but breaking it up into smaller chunks. So basically, the premise is it includes judges Death, Fire, Fear, and Mortis.
Oh.
And these judges. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't really know the universe that well.
I mean, it's been a while. I mean, I know the most about Judge Death, and Judge Death is basically his whole existence is he has the same mindset as the judges, except that life is a crime.
Yeah,
so he goes and brings people to justice.
Yeah, so that's basically what is basically what this is going to be about. In a parallel dimension, or they're pretty much these guys are undead in a parallel dimension, and they conclude that all crime is committed by the living. So to stop crime, you need to kill the living.
There you go. Now, is this going to be tied directly with the movie? Because the article seems to reference the movie a bit, but it sort of sounds like its own standalone thing. Like it's more like an adaptation of the comic books more so than it is the movie.
I think that's what it is. The reason that it's attached to the movie is because the producer of the movie, Adi Shankar, is funding it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I guess that makes sense. I wonder if like Carl Urban, the guy who played Dredd, is he coming back for this?
No idea.
All right.
There's no idea if this is going to tie into the movie in writing or directing, or if Carl Urban will play as Dredd, or even if Dredd's going to be involved. We have no idea.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, it sounds like a lot of it might take place in this alternate universe. Dredd might just be a secondary character in all this.
Right, you know. So, you know, who the hell knows? But it should be kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to it. This is the kind of thing, because it's broken up into 7 chunks, I would watch. I could watch it on my laptop. You know, I could put it on one of my monitors. So, yeah, I mean, this looks really kind of cool to me.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. That's like, in terms of everything we've talked about today, this is the one I'm going to be definitely keeping more tabs on than the rest.
Yeah, so I don't know when it's coming out. It could be a while.
Yeah, it sounds like it's
when
very
we find
early.
out. Yeah, but when we find out, we will definitely let you all know. Now, what is, in your opinion, the most iconic voice in the world?
Okay, most iconic voice in the world. Well, since we're on a science fiction podcast, I gotta say James Earl Jones.
All right, but if we weren't on a science fiction podcast, what would you say?
I mean, it's up there with Morgan Freeman and James Earl Jones and the dude who used to crap, what was his name? The dude who did the commercials, In a World. That guy. I forgot his name, but he died recently, and it was heartbreaking. But
yeah, okay. Now, the most iconic voice to me is the guy that says, "Please stand away from the doors" on the subway. But, you know, I hear that all the time.
Fuck that guy.
So, there's a 1 hour film called Spark of the Rebellion, which is the opening to Star Wars Rebels, that Disney made. They're going to air it or re-air it on ABC on Sunday, October 26th at 7 p.m.
Ooh,
But
right around the
here's
corner.
yeah. I'm actually going to see if I can't try this. Normally I don't like watching animated stuff, but it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, we should live tweet it.
Maybe. That'd be kind of cool. But here's what makes this really cool. You ready?
I'm very ready.
They actually, they got James Earl Jones to voice Darth Vader for a full new scene that hasn't been seen yet.
Whoa. That's
James
cool.
Earl Jones is, he's coming back.
That's so good.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that iconic voice, like they've tried to sort of mimic it in the video games and stuff with the Darth Vader voice, but you can never get that just creamy, what's in your wallet? Didn't he do that? No, he didn't do those. He did the Sprint commercials. That's right.
He did the Sprint commercials, yes.
Yeah. But he's got that, that super iconic voice.
Oh, yeah. So, executive producer David Filoni said, "We wanted to do something special for the ABC broadcast. We've added a scene which gives audiences insight into the Inquisitor and includes a cameo by Darth Vader, voiced by the distinguished actor James Earl Jones." Now, I always heard a rumor about James Earl Jones.
Okay.
That about his first involvement in the first movie. He was a stage actor, and he heard about the movie, and they asked him to do it, and he was like, "Fine, I'll do it, but I don't want to be in the credits."
Yeah.
So if you look at the original movie, his voice, he's not in the credits. I also heard a rumor that he made $400 doing that.
Oh, that bums me out. Well, okay, maybe from that role by itself he made $400, but he must have gotten like them royalty checks, them ducats flowing in.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking it up actually.
I bet you he's gotten paid 12 times for that voice in the span of this conversation.
All right, so I lied. It was not $400.
Okay.
It was £5,000.
Okay.
But to put that into perspective,
how many is that in yen? No, I'm kidding.
To put that into perspective, the guy who played Chewbacca made $450 a week.
Okay.
And he did it for 12 weeks. The guy who was the body, actually I have no idea how much he made. Obi-Wan Kenobi, he received 2 1/4 percentage points of Star Wars total profits.
Wow, that's so much money.
Oh yeah, it's believed that he made 56 million pounds.
Merchandising.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher made, I don't know how much she made.
Enough to buy lots and lots of blow.
Yeah, pretty much probably. But what it is she didn't sign on for, she didn't receive the future stuff. Like she didn't, so she got paid in the movies. She
got a one-time paycheck for the role that she played, but she didn't get anything on the back end.
Yeah, but all those action figures?
Yeah, right? All those posters?
But apparently she did receive 1/4% of Star Wars profits, so...
That's still a lot of money.
Yeah. Hamill made $650,000.
Okay.
But this was also in addition to 1/4% of the movie's total profits.
Okay.
So he did pretty well with that.
I'm sure he did.
Now here's the best part. You ready? Guess
Yeah.
how much? Guess how much Han Solo made?
How much? Oh God, I don't want to guess. Just tell me.
No, take a guess.
Well, I mean, in terms of like flat rate, like how much he got paid for the role, or in terms of overall, like the role, how much the role was worth, and then whatever he made after that.
No, just how much he made.
$1 million. Oh wait, no, hang on. He was a pretty unknown.
In A New Hope, he made $10,000.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He was unknown at that time. Yeah, that makes sense.
In Empire Strikes Back, he only made $100,000.
Wow.
In Return of the Jedi, he only made $400,000 or $500,000.
Holy crap.
Yeah. He made nothing. It blows my mind how little he made.
Laugh it up, Fuzzball. How did he get anything on the back end? Did he get any percentage points?
I don't think so. I don't
Why?
think so.
That's
I don't know.
ridiculous. He's Han fucking Solo.
I know. Now think about it this way though. They convinced him to come back for episode 7.
Yeah, well, he gets paid.
Oh, how much money do you? The dude, for some reason, is pretty ambivalent about Star Wars. He like you know how Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher are like, yeah, we did Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one more role in his. I mean, he has a lot of great roles.
No, he does, but Star Wars is what made him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and yet he's sort of ambivalent about it. So how much money do you think Disney had to throw at him to get him to come back?
I don't know.
20 million?
Not much for Disney, but a lot for our standards, I'm sure.
Yeah. So anyway, not to go on a giant, segue or riff on salaries, but James Earl Jones will be back.
Oh yeah, he'll
and
be back for that thing that's happening in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. So that'll be cool.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's exciting to hear that he's going to be coming back for the voice. I mean, he's really what made that last scene. No.
Oh, that one. That was it. That was it. Except that wasn't his voice in that. You know that, right?
I thought that was him.
I don't think it was.
I thought he was. I'm pretty sure that was him.
Was it him?
I don't think he's been in every movie that Darth Vader has been in.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Not like I wouldn't place a money bet on it, but yeah, I'm pretty damn sure.
Yeah, you're right. He's in it, but once again, he's uncredited.
Yeah, but everyone knew. I knew.
Yeah. So anyway, he's coming back, and that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, man. Darth fucking Vader.
So I read a review of a movie that just came out called Automata. I haven't seen it yet, but it's got Antonio Banderas in it, and it's a futuristic, end of the world, dystopic kind of story. And basically, what happens here is we've effectively destroyed the Earth. Well, actually, no. This actually doesn't say we destroyed the Earth. This is just because of a lot of solar storms. Most of humanity is destroyed. There's only one city remaining. And there are what are called the Automata Pilgrim 7000 robots. And these are pretty much their sole job is to keep humanity alive. And this movie kind of plays homage to, Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics, which says that robots are prohibited from harming any form of life, and robots cannot alter themselves or any other robot. So, like any robot story, they break the rule, and they start to become self-aware and start to modify themselves. So I watched the preview. The preview is pretty freaking intense. And, Antonio Banderas is obviously a great actor, but this looks like a really cool movie. And I might try and convince you, Chris, to, we'll watch it and do our own full review.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I haven't watched the trailer just yet. I intend on watching it probably right after we get off the line or in the very near future. But I'm really loving the look of this poster. Just him sort of crouching in the desert with some robots in the background. He's got the duster on with the hood down. Just
no, it definitely looks cool. It's kind of got that Mad Max feel to it.
Yeah, sort of like a deserty, dystopian. Yeah. I could see it being interesting, especially. I mean, we've talked about Robot or Terminator tonight. We've talked about iRobot before. I mean, robots are cool. I just like watching movies.
No, I mean they're essential theme to science fiction. The robot uprising, the robot. Start off using robots for good, and then oh my god, they're trying to kill everything.
Yeah, well, it's just one more chapter in the humanity gets too great for itself, and then something that it creates becomes greater than it.
Yeah. So no, it's definitely really kind of cool. So we'll probably watch it at some point and review it.
And this movie's out already?
Yeah, so this movie's out in theaters, and you can rent it on Amazon for $6.99.
So select theaters, I'm sure. This sounds like a pretty low profile movie.
I have no idea, but I know it's available for the local theater by me. But I live in New York City, so that's
your local theater is playing everything.
So, yeah, that should be kind of interesting. And obviously,
ScienceFiction.com gave it 4 out of 5 atoms.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I don't know how good they are with that stuff. I haven't read any of their other reviews.
I don't know anything about it.
Now, you know what movie I did see over the weekend though?
No.
I saw Live, Die, Repeat, which is the rename of Edge of Tomorrow.
So they've officially renamed it, because I was walking through the like a Target the other day, and I saw it said Live, Die, Repeat. I'm like, well, that sounds like the plot point of Edge of Tomorrow. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, so I thought that was sort of just how they were branding it, but did they officially rename the movie that?
Yeah, so Warner Brothers renamed the movie when they released it in, for home media, because I think they were concerned that it wasn't going to do well, and by renaming it, they could do a new branding opportunity with it.
I don't think
look,
the name wasn't the problem.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. It was actually really freaking good.
I could see it being good, but the way that they tried to sell it in the trailers didn't work. The trailers,
what they tried to sell was just action.
Well, and that's what it was. The trailers were just all over the place. They didn't convey any plot points in the trailer. They just conveyed the point of, oh, these people keep reliving the same things over and over and over again. I mean, it was very high concept. I mean, I guess, how do you sell something like that? How do you sell Inception in a 2.5-minute trailer? How do you sell something that's really going to make you think, that's going to have layers to it?
Yeah. I mean, and it's not, I wouldn't sit here and go, wow, this movie had layers like Inception. Don't get me wrong. Inception it's in a class of its own. But what this movie really did well with is it was just the concept was basic enough to grasp onto. So basically, he kills this alien that's called an alpha. And by killing it, he gets the alpha's blood all over him, and that gives him the ability to go back in time. So he's able to go back one day.
Go back in time. Sorry,
so you really shouldn't sing.
I will never stop.
So he goes back in time to one day before the invasion, and basically the first 25% of the movie is this happening over and over and over and over, and he's getting a little bit farther each time because he's like, holy shit, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
And
so he's basically respawning. You get to replay the same map over and over and over again.
Which is actually, it's based on a book, and the author said that concept of respawning inspired the idea.
Yeah, I mean, right. Makes a lot of sense.
So then, the plot goes along, and you meet, I don't know, Emily Blunt? That's her name,
Emily Blunt's the name. I don't know the character's name, but yeah, that's
doesn't matter what her name is. So, yeah, so you meet her, and she's like, oh my god, I used to have that ability, and you need to guide me to where the enemy is, the enemy's main boss. And she's this tough, crazy tough woman, and she's awesome. She's an awesome, awesome character, and then, they kiss.
Of course they kiss.
It's dumb. That's the one problem with the scene. I'm like, no. I'm sorry.
That's this bitch ain't
kissing nobody. Oh man, I'm like, this girl's not kissing anybody.
The only person that person is kissing is another woman.
No, it's not even that she's kissing another woman. She's just like, I'm not kissing anything. I don't like anything. I don't love anything. I'm angry at the world.
Really, she's just like, she is not even a human. She is just a hardened soldier.
Oh my god, she is tough.
Yeah.
But for the ending was a little weird. They did a good job with the ending until the ending of the ending, which I won't reveal it, obviously. It was sort of a cop-out. But anyway, I really enjoyed the movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie.
How long is it?
I think it's, I don't know, maybe 2 hours at most.
Oh, that's not so bad.
No. I watched it on Friday night after work. Was it Friday night? Yeah, it was Friday night after work. It was good. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. So
that's the thing, because I mean, when I watched the trailers, and every trailer I watched left me with the same impression. This looks dumb, but at the same time, it wasn't this looks dumb because I know enough about it and can make that decision. It was this looks dumb because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Now here's what's kind of cool is we've talked about exoskeletons before.
Yeah.
They actually built real exoskeletons.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I saw in the trailers that Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt were both wearing those exosuits in the battle scenes, basically, where they're dying every 12 seconds.
Yeah, those things are real.
Okay, so those are like, functional to the point of they actually can fit on the body and can maneuver like that. Obviously, they probably don't grant any strength benefits or armor
Right.
benefits, but in terms of being a functional prop,
Yeah.
it's that.
I mean, it weighed 85 pounds.
Wow. Okay, so some commitment to the actors there.
Oh yeah. I mean,
They
to
weren't
the
just
point
wearing
that
pieces of cardboard.
yeah. So when the actors were between scenes, they would actually, or between takes, they would be suspended by chains, so that it would take the weight off their shoulders.
Huh. That's really cool.
But what's interesting is that they actually base these on real world powered exoskeletons
Well,
that
actually,
are being.
that's kind of brilliant. I'm sorry. I mean, but just the whole idea of having them be real, because then you get the realistic animations and movements because they're really traveling and walking and running and jumping and diving with 85 pounds on them.
Yeah, no, for sure. So these are one of the closest examples to what DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, is putting out.
Yeah, I've
You
seen
know,
those.
Yeah, I mean they're working on exoskeletons, and this is the closest thing to it. So it was a good movie. I would definitely suggest getting it. It's now on Amazon to rent, which is how I watch pretty much all my movies now. You can get it on Amazon for like I think it was $4.99,
Yeah.
maybe $5.99 if you want it on high def. But I would definitely check it out.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? To know a little bit more about it, like, even the little plot points that you told me makes me infinitely more interested than that trailer.
Yeah. Now the trailer really wasn't all that great.
No, the trailer was garbage. And I mean,
Yeah.
I guess if it was already something that people knew about, if it was like an iconic title that everyone knew the plot to already, then yeah, you can get away with being a little aloof and a little vague in a trailer. But if you're trying to start this new high concept, time traveling story in the science fiction universe, I mean, you gotta provide a little bit of background, especially with movies being as expensive they are these days. If I'm gonna go out on a Friday night and catch a movie, I'm gonna watch the one that the trailer excites me. That's what that's the point of the trailer.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. So yeah, I mean, the trailers weren't all that great. The only reason I wanted to see it was because I love science fiction in general, and I tend to just give science fiction a pass.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen it in theaters, but I paid to see it on my TV, and I liked it.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have not said for one moment that you regret watching it.
Yeah. Something else that I can't stand, though, and
I think I know where you're going with this.
yeah. So, as many of you are well aware of, I'm a bitch, and by that it means I am scared shitless of horror shit. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. But for some reason, I decided to force myself to watch gameplay of Alien Isolation. Why? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, that game just came out like a week ago, right?
Yeah. This game is scary as shit, man. Now, I haven't played it, and watching is nowhere near as scary as playing. But based on watching, just the feeling, the atmosphere, I don't even know how to describe it, man. This Alien Isolation is where you are Amanda Ripley, the daughter of
Ellen Ripley.
Ellen Ripley. And you are on a quest to find out what happened to your mom, and you go to a space station, and the xenomorph is on the space station. I've got a few complaints with the game.
Okay.
I haven't played it, but here's based on what I understand about the game. One, the xenomorph is on the space station with you. Yeah. So are a lot of other humans, and yet the xenomorph is always after you. I hate that.
Okay.
That's one problem.
Yeah.
Two, it's tough enough with a xenomorph after you. Then they have these weird androids that are like all misprogrammed that try to choke a bitch.
Yeah, I saw those.
It's really weird, man. I'm not digging that at all.
Well, it's weird, but if you watch the footage, I mean, what makes this game so freaky is that unlike other Alien games that have come out recently, it is not about shooting as many xenomorphs as you possibly can. It's about you are a human being, relatively unarmed. I mean, you are not equipped to fight this thing. And this thing is very deadly and very fast and can maneuver through air vents and, can do things that you can't do. And well, go ahead.
I was going to say, the thing about it is, once it finds you, you're dead. There's no alternative.
Well, I think there are some countermeasures or something you can use to sort of stun it, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's the option to find a flamethrower.
Yeah.
and that'll scare it away, you know. But if it gets its eyes on you and it knows where you are, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Like, seriously, I watched probably 20 deaths by this thing. You're dead.
Well, and that's the thing, and the beautiful thing, and the thing that really sells the horror element of it, because I also haven't played the game yet, and I might give it a shot, is the forced first-person perspective. They
Holy
are
crap.
going for immersion in this game. They are going
Yep.
for you are this person,
Yep.
and you are small in comparison to this thing. You have to get the fuck out of there, or you're gonna die. And the death scenes, I mean, it's a graphic game.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. You know, what's interesting about it is, like you said, the xenomorph can be anywhere. You know, so it could be in the vents above you.
Mm-hmm.
It could be on the ground. You could be in the same room at it. You might be hiding in a closet. And it's completely random. Like, you might say you're going down a path and then you die. You could go down that same path and the alien might not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's completely random. There's no way for you to predict. You have to accept the fact that you're going to die a lot because you are. But the xenomorph, I mean, you're able to track where it is on your personal radar.
Those motion trackers, those are freaky, man. Because
Oh,
that
yeah.
in and of itself sells the experience. This little handheld thing, you hold it up, and it has like these three little what's it called, like giant parentheses or whatever, showing sort of like a Wi-Fi symbol, showing the direction in front of you, and a big old dot of where that
Yep.
alien is. And is it above you? Is it below you? Is it right in front of you? Is it
Exactly.
right behind you? You don't know.
Exactly. You know, like, you could walk under a vent and realize as you're walking under the vent that there's some drool coming down, and then boom, you're dead. Like,
That's-
dude,
That's intense.
I'm telling you, this. I'm not playing it unless you come over and you hold my hand. In which case, you can play it, and I'll sit there cowering like a little baby.
All right.
Because that shit looks scary. One review I read says it is the scariest game they have ever played in their life.
I could see that. A lot of horror games, I really missed the mark because they don't do it. And back before, sorry, going off to what you said before about it's random, it's procedural. It's random. The alien could be anywhere.
Yeah.
At any time. That's the only way to really do horror, because if you go through the same thing once and then you go through it again, you know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Too many games
know?
first of all, they make your character too powerful. They make it so that dying is not something that happens as frequently as it should, because let's be serious. What makes these games scary is how vulnerable you are.
Right. And you need to die to feel just how vulnerable you are.
Exactly. So like in a game like Dead Space, especially the most recent one, you power up your character, and whatever they send at you, monsters, people, whatever, that you can take care of any of them without dying. You're not very vulnerable. But in this game, you are a girl without armor, running away from an alien that is faster than you, stronger than you, and probably knows where you are right now and is probably behind you.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that's the thing is, Dead Space, it's the style of game, it's one versus many, and what makes it scary is the monsters. They are scary looking.
Yeah.
But like, we all know what a xenomorph looks like, and a xenomorph by itself is not so scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of been done to the point where we all know what it is. We can identify with it. It's not abnormal to us. It's not really that freaky. I mean, it's still freaky because it's got the little mouth thing in the mouth, but I know what you're saying.
But what makes it really fucking scary for me is the fact that, like, you have no idea where it is, once again. Two, like, you're constantly on. You're constantly, like, stepping and stopping and stepping and stopping and hiding and praying and hoping to fucking God that you don't get caught.
Yeah.
And
because, like you said, if it sees you, you can't run away.
Right. And even if it doesn't see you, sometimes it just knows where you are.
Well, I did watch a piece of gameplay where, as you were saying, you could be hiding in a closet, but that's not all. Like hiding in a closet, you're not safe.
Right.
You're still, like, your character is scared and she's breathing heavily. And so unless you, like, there's a button to hold your breath and, like, back away from the front of the closet. So if the alien walks up to the closet, and you're not holding your breath and pressing back, which is an active thing that you have to do, the alien is going to rip you out of the closet and disembowel you.
Right. Like, it's just screwed up, dude. Now, one thing I will say
it's
about
brilliant.
the game...
I love the idea. It's brilliant.
Now, yeah, I mean, you were talking about not buying it, but maybe you will now. Or, you know what? Let me see if it's available. Did you know that Redbox does video games?
I did. Yeah, I heard about that.
So I
I've
wonder
never
if
used
Redbox has it. You know, I've never used it for video games. I've used it for movies.
Yeah.
I've never used it for video games. So apparently I could get Destiny.
Okay. I just bought Destiny.
I could get all the NBAs, NBA 2K15, blah blah blah. Let's see. Far Cry 3.
That's an old game.
Walking Dead. Let's see. Alien Isolation. If I spelled isolation right, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Alien Isolation. Nope.
Not yet. It'll be shortly, I'm sure. I mean, the game just
sure.
came out. Destiny came out 2 weeks ago, I think. Alien came out a week ago or 3 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, now Destiny might just be a bigger game. That might be why.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. Well, maybe. I don't know.
So
It'll
anyway,
be up there.
That game looks scary. I will never play it, and none of you can make me. But
I love horror. I love horror games.
Great. You buy it, I'll watch with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, can't you? Is there an online site where you can rent games too?
Gamefly.com.
Gamefly. I feel like we should reach out to Gamefly and tell them to sponsor our show.
Hey, I'd be down with that. Hey, Gamefly, send us a copy of this game for a month, and we'll totally give you a shout out on the air. I mean, oops.
give us a free trial.
Rewind 10 seconds, because we just gave them an accidental shout out, so now they're not going to give us jack.
Oh, fuck.
We blew it.
We blew it. So anyway, it's if you haven't tried the game, try it. Just don't make me watch you play
At least go watch some of the footage and do it with the lights off and do it with headphones.
With the lights off, headphones on, highest HD possible, and prepare to scream.
Yes, and depends. Don't forget the depends, because that shit gets messy.
So anyway, that is it for FTL Radio.
Number 12. That's a dozen. That's one away from a baker's dozen.
I'm hungry.
Stop it. We'll go get bagels.
So, thank you all very much for listening. We appreciate that you've been here for 12 episodes. And for the new people, go ahead and listen back. You can listen to the entire archive on iTunes or Stitcher or FTLradio.com. Subscribe to us so that you can get updates when we post. Next week, we will not be recording on Monday, posting on Tuesday or Wednesday, because Chris will be on the other side of the country.
Yes, I'm going to California for a little while, but we're hoping to get a recording in sometime later next week. So check back.
Yeah, and if we don't do that, we'll just have a beefed up episode the following week.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. But as always, thank you very much. Like us on Twitter, twitter.com/FTLradio. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/FTLradio. And if you are an independent producer of any sort of content, or really just any sort of producer of content, and you'd like us to review it, send us an email at info@FTLradio.com.
Yeah, man.
So thanks a lot for listening.
Thanks a lot for listening. Number 12 is out.